Hello class, and welcome to your online lesson. As you can probably guess by my location, today we're going to be talking about space. More specifically, planets. With that, why don't we head outside and get started. Now, we're seeing our solar system. Specifically, we're seeing it live. The tool I'm using is called Solar System Scope, as what's coming on screen now. If you have a smart device, you're going to look up that application by info and get that downloaded. If you're on a computer right now, you can go to this link. I'll go through and let you pause the video to make sure you download that, get that open, and then we'll continue. Now that you have the application open, what we're viewing is the universe live. However, it's really hard to kind of see how orbits and how all of our planets and everything in our solar system operates happening. So, we're going to be clicking the button here. This allows you to adjust the time frame. Specifically, we're going to want to adjust it to about 2 months per second. Now you're observing a universe and probably some simulations that you're much more familiar with. We're able to see all of the planets, how they're rotating, and their overall time it takes them to. So, now that we're able to see this, what is a planet? In 2006, the International Astronomical Union went through and redefined what a planet is. Planets now have to follow 4 rules. Rule number 1, to be a planet: it must orbit the sun, or the local star. Rule number 2 is that a planet has to be spherical or round. Rule number 3, a planet must not be a satellite of another object. And rule number 4, the planet must not have anything in its orbit. It must have a clear path. There's a cheat guide here, so that way you can remember. So now that we understand that, and you're seeing the universe live, you can see how all of that applies to things like Earth, Mars, Venus. However, do those rules apply to everything within our solar system? Why don't we check out Pluto as we're doing so now? As Pluto's coming up on screen, some of you may know that Pluto used to be considered a planet. However, with the reclassification in 2006, it no longer is. Why don't we investigate those 4 rules again to determine why? Rule number 1 was the object must orbit the sun. As we see, it does orbit the sun. Rule number 2, it had to be spherical and round. As you can see, it's still spherical and round. Rule number 3 was that the object had to only orbit the sun. It can't orbit anything else, which is still true. However, what was rule number 4? Do you remember? Rule number 4 was that the object must have a clear orbit. As we can see here, Pluto's orbit goes through the Kuiper Belt, which is a mass belt of different rocks and other minerals that were left over from the formation of our solar system specifically. So with that reclassification, Pluto is not considered a planet. So now that we've understood that, let's head back to the base to discuss how we can use all this information to further develop our understanding of what it takes to be a planet. As scientists, our goal is to continue to think big and think about those theories. So, we have our theory case study. I'm going to give you 3 questions which are coming up now, and I want you to think big with them to really understand the fundamentals of what we talked about. Question 1 for your theory study: could Pluto become a planet naturally? Question 2, could Pluto become a planet with intervention? And question 3, could a moon like Titan, that goes around Saturn for example, become a planet? This is your opportunity to really go through, think big, and present your own cases on why it can or can't be. I want you to really have a lot of good evidence for it, as we'll be discussing that in class when we meet next. Make sure to use your solar scopes to help back up your ideas and pose some possible ideas and hypotheses on how it could or couldn't. Alright, as our time comes to a close, the things we learned about was planets, the planetary orbits, the reclassification that happened in 2006, And also, we pose some theoretical questions to be able to have you think big and get creative. With that, have fun, enjoy, and I'll see you soon, scientists.